Hello friends, welcome back. Now we do about the reproductive phase of life in humans. Adolescents become capable of reproduction when the testes in the boys and ovaries in the girls begin to produce the gametes. Now the capacity for this maturation and production of the gametes will last for a much longer time in males than in females. First we see about the females. In the females, the reproductive phase, that is the reproductive life, begins at puberty, that is around 10 to 12 years of age of the girl, and it will generally last till the age of around 45 to 50 years. The ova will begin to mature with the onset of puberty. Now, one ovum matures and it is released by one ovary once in about 28 to 30 days. Now, during this period, the wall of the uterus becomes thick so as to receive the egg in case, now this is very important, that in case the egg is fertilized and it begins to develop. Now this will result in a pregnancy. If fertilization does not occur, then the released egg and the thickened lining of the uterus along with the blood vessels will shed off. This causes bleeding in women, which is called menstruation. Menstruation will occur once in about 28 to 30 days. The first menstrual flow of the girl, which begins at puberty, is called as menarche. And around the age of 45 to 50, when the menstrual cycle will stop. Now the stoppage of this menstruation is termed or called as menopause. Now in the beginning the menstrual cycle may be irregular, but over a period of time it becomes regular. The menstrual cycle is controlled by hormones. The cycle includes the maturation of the egg, its release, thickening of the uterine wall, and the breakdown if pregnancy does not occur. Now in case the egg is fertilized, right, and pregnancy occurs, the egg begins to divide and gets embedded or implanted in the uterus for further development, right, as we have already seen in chapter 9. Now the next topic is a very interesting one. It is that how is the sex of the baby determined, right, or decided. Now the sex means the gender of the child, right, whether it will be a boy or a girl. Now generally when anybody is going to have a baby, there are always discussions regarding whether it will be a boy or a girl, right. So we see what is it, or what is the factor which decides whether it is a boy or a girl. Now inside the fertilized egg or the zygote, there is an instruction for determining or deciding the sex of the baby. Now this instruction is present in the thread-like structures which we call chromosomes, right, which are there in the fertilized egg. Now chromosomes are present inside the nucleus of every cell, and all human beings have 23 pairs of these chromosomes in the nuclei of their cells. Now out of these, two chromosomes are the sex chromosomes, right, which are named X and Y. Now a female will have two X chromosomes while a male has one X and one Y chromosome. So the gametes, which are the egg and the sperm, will have only one set of the chromosomes. Now the unfertilized egg in the female will always have only one X chromosome, but the sperms are of two kinds. One kind has an X chromosome and the other kind will have a Y chromosome. So when a sperm which is containing an X chromosome will fertilize the egg, the zygote will have two X chromosomes and develop into a female child, that is, it will be a girl. And if the sperm contributes a Y chromosome to the egg at fertilization, so then the zygote will develop into a male child, that is a boy. See, here a figure is given about what we just understood, right? So in the figure it is shown, right, that the girl has the XX chromosome, right? She has a pair of X chromosomes, right? Sorry, she has one X chromosome. Now if the male sperm has the X chromosome, so then it will be a girl. And if the male sperm which fertilizes the egg has a Y chromosome, right, then it will be a boy, right? So now as we know that the sex chromosome of the father, very important, of the father will determine the sex of the unborn baby. And the very old belief that the mother is responsible for the sex of her baby is completely and totally wrong, right? And it is very, very wrong to blame the mother for the sex of the baby, and it is totally unjustified, right? Now further we see that there are other hormones which are different than the sex hormones, right? So the hormones which are secreted by the pituitary gland will stimulate the testes in the males, right, and ovaries in the females to produce their hormones, which we have already seen that the pituitary gland is an endocrine gland which is attached to the brain. Now apart from the pituitary, the testes and the ovaries, there are other endocrine glands in the body about which we see, that is the thyroid, the pancreas, and the adrenals, right? So, right, the thyroid gland in the human being, right, produces the hormone called thyroxine, right? And if the thyroid gland does not produce the hormone properly, then creates a problem and the person can get a disease called goiter, right? Now next we see that the pancreas in the human body produce the hormone insulin, right? And it is very important for the pancreas to produce insulin in sufficient quantities, right? Because if the pancreas do not produce the insulin hormone in sufficient quantity, right, then the person will suffer from diabetes, right? Then next we see the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands secrete the hormones which maintain the correct salt balance in the blood, right? And they also produce the hormone which is called as adrenaline, which helps the body to adjust to stress, right, when one is very angry, embarrassed or worried. The thyroid and the adrenals will secrete the hormones when they receive the orders from the pituitary through its hormones, right? So the pituitary gland is like the boss. Now when the boss gives orders, the subordinates will work. The same way, when the pituitary gland gives the orders, the thyroid and the adrenal glands will secrete their respective hormones. Now pituitary also secretes the growth hormone, which is very necessary for the normal growth of a person. So friends, I hope you all have understood the topics we discussed in this video. See you later. Bye.